Hello there guys, it's your boy Blue here, back with another video, and today I'm going to do What If Deku Was Abandoned, part 20, hope you enjoy it. So like always, a small recap is needed, but if you somehow missed last part, click an I button right here. And like last part, let's put a like goal, 500 likes, and I'll post part 21. So last part, Deku met up Nijiri's parents for the first time, and like every meeting in anime, her dad started asking him questions. And he was surprised about Deku's calm demeanor and how he acted. So after they talk and he revealed why he fell for Nijire, her dad revealed that he already trusts him. He just needed to confirm something that he heard from Ryuko. And after that they have dinner, and in the middle of it Deku revealed that he can cook. Nijire got slightly embarrassed because she can't, but Deku encouraged her to not give up, and she will learn. And also Deku revealed that his power is not a quirk. So Deku know that they are good people, and they know that he's a hard worker. After that, Deku was heading back to his house, but before he leave, Nijiri stopped him and just hugged him. And they talked for a bit, and Deku kind of proposed to Nijiri, or he promised her that he will. And he told her that Ryuko adopted him, or she will in a couple of days. After that, he went back home, and the next day when he was in class, Aizawa told him about the summer camp. Deku at first declined the offer, but after Aizawa told him that he can go all out, Deku got serious, asked him is he sure. Aizawa, knowing that he just opened Pandora's box, confirmed it. So Deku changed his mind and decided to go. Then him and Nijire went to the support class and they asked for weight wristbands, the same weight that the teacher used in the finals. So they give him 4 pairs, Deku put on 2 pairs, and they went to the summer camp. When they arrived, like the anime, they met up with Mandale and Pixie Bob. And this time when they point where is the camp, Deku pulled the trigger of all his wristbands and jumped off the cliff. Soon after, the class was forced by Pixie Bob to try to follow him. So after 45 minutes, Deku arrived. Everyone was surprised that he's there, and after a while he revealed that he was along all the time. So like the anime, the class arrived late, and Deku told them that they are just idiots, and he told them why. And the real reason about this weird test. Then we have the bath part, with Mineta trying to peep and Koda stopping him. Then he fall when he accidentally peep on the girls. Deku catch him, he took him to Mandalay, she revealed his past, and Deku understand his feeling to the shock of both of them. So they tell them what they can do to help him. And I think that's it with the summary, so let's begin. So it's next day, early next day. Everyone is still half asleep. So they ask Aizawa why they are up so early. He told them to get used to it because this will be their routine for next week. So now let's begin with a small test. Izuku then realized that Izuku is not there. Did you guys did not wake him up? Aizawa asked them. So Ida tell him that he will go fetch him. And after a few minutes, Ida returned with no Izuku. So where is he? Aizawa asked. I don't know, he's not inside the building. Where could he be? Aizawa started thinking. Okay, everyone don't panic and try to search for him. So before they start searching for him, Jiro told them to stop it and shut up for a second. She plugged her earphone jack on the ground. Then she told them I can hear someone talking, what they are saying and where they are coming from. Jiro put a direction and told them that they are saying 5596, 5597, and it keep going up. Everyone have a puzzle look, so they start walking to the direction where Jiro pointed. Then they start hearing the voice, and when they get close, they recognize it's Deku's voice. So they come close to him. Deku saw them, he told them good morning, it's about time you woke up. And that make Aizawa raise an eyebrow. When did you wake up? 6, Deku replied. And that surprised him a bit. Deku saw that and tell him, what? You told me that I can train, right? Aizawa nod and tell him, you're right. I'm just a bit surprised that you woke up at 6 AM. It's not for me, Deku replied. I always wake up at 6. Always? Deku nod. Aizawa sighed and tell him, I think you already warm up, so you can go on with your training. Deku nod and he continue. So everybody start walking back, a bit shocked. But Aizawa used this to motivate them to work harder and telling them, you see Izuku is not slack enough, so use him as an example. Everyone nod and they start training. Well, here's the thing guys. Yes, Bakugo is here. And yes, they are not talking to him because of what he did. But there is one person that is Simi is. Kirishima. And I know you're asking why. Well, after Bakugo returned to UA, Kirishima did see how Bakugo looked. Defeated, hopeless. and he knew that he deserved it 100%. But we know that Kirishima is a good guy. So he can see that Bakugo is feeling really guilty. So he still think there is a chance for him, a chance to redeem himself. So even though they are not as close as the anime, Kirishima is literally the only one that's talking to him a bit normally. So everyone went on with their normal training, and after an hour, Class B joined. They saw how Class 1A is being tortured, training. Then Tiger approached them and told them, the ones that have a strength quirks, come with me. So they did. Then Tiger realized that Izuku is not with them. He looks for him and he found him along, training, but along. So Tiger told him to come here and train with them. Nah, I'm good. I can do my own training. Deku replied. Tiger got slightly offended and tell him, I know that you think that your training is enough, but there is villain stronger than Stains. Your current strength may be worked on him, but it will not work on other stronger villains. Deku got slightly ticked because of his comment, so he stopped what he was doing and tell him, look, I know what I'm doing. Plus, your training regiment is just a warm-up for me. Heck, my warm-up is even worse than that. So you can take care of other students and leave me be. You're cocky one, aren't you? Tiger replied. Right, if you think that you're strong enough, come at me. And if you beat me, I will shut up. Deku looked at him dead in the eyes, smirk and tell him, you sure about this? And that made Tiger feel a chill down his spine. But he quickly got his composure back and tell him, ready when you are, kid. Right, then Deku get up, and he got in his fighting stand. And at that very moment, Aizawa saw them. He told them what's going on here. Tiger tell him, your student is being a bit cocky since he defeated Stain. So I'm just teaching him a lesson and show him that he always need to work harder. Aizawa was shocked and tell him, but Deku cut him off. Mr. Aizawa, it's okay. If you want to fight, I will give him one. Plus, it's been a while since I last fought a pro hero. Fighting a pro hero? Tiger asked him. Who did you go against? Deku smirk and tell him, if you beat me, I will tell you. And with that comment, Tiger got on his fighting stand and charged at Deku. So they start fighting, and that get the attention of everyone. And all of them can see that Deku is holding his own against him. He's blocking, dodging every attack, and it seems they are equal. But Tiger is mainly dodging Deku's attacks, because right after he blocked one, he felt it good. So he quickly realized that Deku's punches, even if he blocked them, they will hurt him. So he mainly used his quirk to dodge. Everyone, minus Aizawa and Class 1A, are surprised about Deku's strength, because they don't know that he fought against Ryuko and won. But Aizawa realized that something is odd. Yes, Deku is not power up at all, he's just in his base form, or base power. But still, he looks like that he's struggling a bit to move. So let's go back to the fight. Deku just blocked one of his punches, so Tiger take this opportunity and kick Deku in the gut. And then make Deku flying backward a couple of feet. He was able to land on his feet. Then Tiger tell him while huffing and puffing, you're good, kid, not going to lie. Deku replied, slightly tired, same goes for you. You have an interesting way of using your quirk, but if it's that all you got, we already lost. Tiger got slightly ticked and tell him, don't get cocky. So he charged at Deku, he throws a punch, Deku dodged it. Then Tiger used his quirk to grab Deku's shirt. Or I think it was a jacket. Yeah, it was a jacket. So when he pulled a bit hard, it got ripped. Come on, really? Deku tell him. Then he looked at Aizawa. Sorry about that, sir, Don't worry about it, Aizawa replied. We thought ahead, so we did bring some spares with us. Huh, I see. Well, since it's already useless, so Deku ripped the other half. And that shocked everyone, except the boys from Class 1A. They are the only one that saw Deku without a shirt. So they are quite surprised when they saw how ripped Deku is. So he made the girls blush, the guys from 1B a bit jealous and impressed, and picks him up a bit ticked because he's already taken, and Tiger is just surprised. Whoa kid, you are built to say the least. Well, thank you, Deku replied. I work out quite often, so shall we continue? But I have to warn you, you already lost. We'll see about that, kid. So once again he charged at him, and Deku just dodges. So he throws another punch, and another, but Deku just keep dodging. Tiger cannot even land a single hit on him. Deku on the other hand, he took Tiger by surprise and got punched him once. And that punch was able to send Tiger flying a few feet. He was able to land on his feet, but he immediately got on one knee and started holding his stomach. Damn it, this kid delivered quite a punch. Then he heard a voice behind him. Told you, you already lost. He looked behind him surprised and saw Deku. How did you? I have my way, Deku replied. So, do you want to continue or do you give up? Tiger sighed. Fine, you won, kid. Good, then Deku gave him a hand. Tiger was surprised, so he took it and get up. Look, Deku tell him, I understand that you think that I'm being cocky because I defeated Stain, but let me make something clear. I don't want credit for that. Yes, I defeated him, period. That's it. I don't want anything from it. So don't think I want some fame or anything from it. And that took Tiger by surprise. Maybe he was wrong about this kid. So he smiled and tell him, well, a deal is a deal. I will leave you alone. But you need to work on your speed. You're strong, but your punches are a bit slow. Deku scratched back his head and tell him, well, I cannot move as fast as I want with these on. These? Then Aizawa interject. Izuku, are those the weighted wristbands that we use in the finals? Deku nod. Weighted wristbands? Tiger asked. So Aizawa explained. That shocked Tiger. Can I hold one? He asked Deku. Sure, Deku replied, and he took off one. But right before he handed it to him, he tell him, watch out, it's heavy. The second Deku drop it on his hand, Tiger tell him, what the? Kid, how can you lift your arm? Not a long fight with these on. No wonder your punches were slow. Well, do you want to be shocked? Deku asked him. Tiger nod. So Deku showed him that he's also wearing a couple on his legs. And they are the same weight. And that leave everyone dumbstruck. Then Aizawa snap out of it and tell Deku, you have been wearing them since yesterday, am I right? Right before you jumped from the cliff. Deku nod. You sure you're still human, kid? Yes, I am, Deku reply. So Tiger started laughing nervously. He gave Deku his wristband back and tell him, I think your training is actually way worse than ours. Told you, could tell him. Actually, I haven't started training yet. This is just a warm-up. And that shocked them once again. Alright, I give up. Aizawa told them that he turned around and started walking away. And that made Deku slightly chuckle. Then Tiger asked him, if you are wearing this since the beginning of this fight, how did you manage to dodge my attacks? Because it seems that you are getting faster. No, Deku tell him, I wasn't getting faster. I was predicting your moves. Predicting my moves? Tiger asked him. Deku nod. Ever since I started fighting you, I was reading your moves, memorizing them. That's why for you it seems that I was getting faster. Wow, just wow. I know, Deku reply. Just remember this, I'm not a normal kid. I have been through my fair share of fighting. Alright, I get it. Tiger tell him, you can go back to your training. Alright, then Deku turned around, then he continued his training. Then Tiger walked up to Aizawa and tell him, he's strong. You have no idea. You know that he was holding back, right? What? Tiger asked. Yeah. If I remember correctly, Aizawa tell him, he still have 3 other power-ups, and each one is stronger than the other. Tiger's eyes widen. I'm no match for him, aren't I, huh? Nope, Aizawa tell him. Even Ryuko lost to him. Tiger shout. What? Ryuko? Number 9 hero? Aizawa nod. Trust me, this kid is different. So with that, we fast forward 6 hours. During this time, Deku started going all out in his training. But if you guys want an idea, did you guys saw the filler with Goku training with Kinkai right before the other world tournament? And he have these like weights in his legs and hands? Yeah, that's Deku. So after 6 hours straight, everyone is exhausted. Then Deku fly down and sit beside them. Then Momo approach him and give him a bottle of water and tell him, good work, same goes for you. Deku tell her, and thanks. So what, do you think that's enough for one day? She asked him. Nah, Deku tell her. I'm just taking a break. And then shock her a bit, she tell him, oh, okay. Deku nod, and after 5 more minutes, he gets up and tell them, see you guys in 6 hours. Then he fly away. They start looking at each other like he's kidding, right? But nope. After 6 hours, he returned, but completely exhausted. So quickly took a shower, then they prepared dinner. So like the anime, Kirishima complained about the food, but he doesn't care because he's hungry. Then Momo tell them, really? Mine is pretty good. So everyone tasted and she's right. Then they tell her, whoa, Momo, you can cook? No, that's Izuku. Kirishima looked at him, whoa, Izuku, you can cook? Deku nod, that's mainly. Thanks, Deku reply. He's a bit weirded out and tired. And after he was done, he talked with Nijiri a bit. Then he fell asleep. And that was his routine for the first 3 days of the camp. Except him fighting Tiger. He learned his lesson. Don't mess with Izuku. But in the 4th day, something else happened. After Deku's break, Deku tells Jiro to not plug her earphone jacks in the wall or the ground. She was a bit weirded out, so she just nod. Then Deku fly away. They start asking themselves why did he tell her that? And after 10 minutes, they get their answer. They heard a massive explosion and a massive cloud of dust with a red tent. A familiar red. Is he going that far, Aizawa thought to himself? Then he remembered his promise. Well, I did tell him he can go all out. And this went on for a couple of hours. They heard explosions. Sometimes they saw multiple key blasts flying around. Then Aizawa got a bit worried. Same for the wild pussycat. So they decide to see what's going on. So they make their way toward Deku, and when they arrive, they saw the area completely destroyed, smoke everywhere, and when the smoke started dissipating a bit, they saw Deku standing, breathing heavily. Then they saw something that shocked them. Deku's right arm or upper arm It's almost like it's burned or something, although slightly. So they start asking themselves what is he doing, and they get their answer really quick. Deku put both of his hands together and he fired a red beam. Let's call it Super Dragon Cannon. Then he curved it to come straight toward him, and when it came close he threw a punch. He struggled for a bit to push it back, then it exploded. He started breathing heavily once again, but this time he fell to his knees and he started looking at his hand. Damn it, it's too hard. Come on Izuku, you can do it. Then he gets up, he healed his hand, and he fired another Super Dragon Cannon. And once again he punched it. And he kept doing this until he was out of energy. After that, Deku thinks that he reached his limits, so he starts slowly walking toward the camp. When he arrived, everyone saw him battle damage and barely able to stand. Ida, Momo and Oraka rush at him, asking him is he okay. He nods and tells them, I'm just tired. I think I overdid it a bit. Then Momo tells him, I did tell you to not go too far. Yeah, sorry, Deku reply, but I'm still alive, huh? Momo just sighed. You're lucky Nijiri is not here. And that makes Deku laugh nervously. Then we fast forward right after dinner. Deku is sitting, lost in his thoughts. Then Momo approaches him and asks him, what is he thinking? It's nothing, Deku reply. I'm just having trouble with this technique I'm trying to create. Oh, what's the problem? Maybe I can help you? Well, since you ask, well, I cannot gather as much energy as fast as I want. Each time I think I'm almost there, it stops, or I just take way too long. I see, that's tricky, she tells him. I wish I can help you, but to be honest with you, I don't have any idea how to. It's okay, Yaruzu, I get it. I just need some time to figure it out. Then someone interrupts their conversation. Monama. He starts going on and on how Deku is the strongest in class 1A. And he's having problems? Deku kept looking at Monama. On the other hand, Momo tells him to shut it. And behind him there is Kendo walking toward him, preparing to chop his neck. But before she can go through with it, she was stopped with Deku saying to Monama, drop the act already. And that shocked the three of them. What do you mean? Monama asked him. This cocky attitude, it's just an act. Drop it. Monama started laughing and tell him that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Then he was cut off by Deku telling him there is no shame of being weak. Kendo was going to say something because Deku was a bit harsh, but she was cut off and shocked with Monama speaking. Don't speak like you know what that's mean. Then Monama looked at him dead in the eyes, and he looked like that he's holding a bit of tears. Everyone having his flashy and powerful quirks, like you, will not understand how people like me feel. Everyone tell you that you're not strong enough. Then Deku cut him off. No matter how hard you try, you will not be strong enough. Am I right? And that shocked Monama. How did you? Monama, I might be strong right now, but I wasn't near this strong years ago. Everyone tell me to give up. I will not be worth anything, no matter how hard I try. Heck, even my own parents tell me that. How did you get over it? Monama tell him. I stopped listening to them, Deku reply. Look, life is hard as it is, and those type of people make it even harder for you for their entertainment, because the only joy they have in life is just to torment people, because that is the only way they can feel any type of satisfaction and joy. So stop listening to them. Only listen to people that support you and push you to be better, like your big sister here. He pointed at Kendo. She's trying to teach you to stop being a dick to everyone. I am, Kendo replied. Then they could continue. Because people like her know your worth and always help you to be better. But if you didn't find anyone like them, there is someone that always know. Then he put his fist in his chest. Yourself. You know what you're worth better than anyone. There is no shame of being weak, but there is a shame of staying weak. But you have to figure out what is strength to you. What's the meaning of being strong? What's the meaning of being weak? And the only one that can answer those questions is you. And that shocked everyone. They never knew this side of Deku. Then Momo remembered what Nijiri told her, that the Deku that they know is just a facade. The real one is just deep inside. And she just witnessed a glimpse of it. Then after Monama snapped of his shock, he told Deku, thanks for the advice, but I don't know what to do. Well, Deku started thinking, since we're here to train your quirks and body, just do both. Your quirk lets you copy anyone's quirk that you can touch, right? Monama nod. Give me a second. Then Deku vanished, and Momo was surprised that he still had this much energy. Then Deku returned with his notebook. He started flipping the pages, and he started giving Monama some ideas on how he can use his classmate's quirk and some other popular quirk, like a fire quirk, ice quirk, and electrical quirk. But for that, you also need to train your body to handle it. Monama nodded, then it clicked. Wait, do you have our information about our quirks in that notebook? Deku nod, and that shocked everyone from class 1B. Can I look? He tell him. Deku nod, and he gave him his notebook. Then the rest of class 1B start reading it. And they were shocked. Not only information about their quirks, but also their moves and their weaknesses. They looked at Deku and telling him how did he get them. Sport festival, Deku reply. Okay, but how did you figure out our weaknesses? They ask him. Deku is tired, so he wants to deal with this quickly. I just think of potential weaknesses, that's it. And all of them are shocked. These are just theories. Then while Pussycat looked at Aizawa, he just shrugged and told them, I told you, he's different. So after discussing a bit, Monoma thanks him for his help, then he tell him, well, can I copy your quirk because it seems that your quirk is a rounded quirk. You can use it close range and long range. I would love to, but you can't copy my power. Why is that? Monoma asked him. Because you can't, it's not a quirk. Avon stood silent. What do you mean it's not a quirk? Exactly what it sounds like. It's not a quirk. Then Tiger speak up and tell him, come on kid, you're just messing with us, right? Deku looked at him with surprised Pikachu face. Then he looked at Aizawa. You didn't tell them? Aizawa shook his head. Do you want me to? Deku nodded. Aizawa sighed and told them, name Izuku, no last name, age 15, state quirkless. Everyone screamed what in unison. Then Tiger tell him, if you don't have a quirk, how are you this strong? Deku smiled and tell him, well, let's just say if there is a will, there is a way. And what is that way, he asked. I basically use my ki. What's ki? Everyone asked. Except for two people, Aizawa and Kendo. And Kendo was the first to speak up. She told them ki it's life force, everyone have it. And I know that some martial artists use it to increase their strength and durability. Then she looked at Deku. Deku smirked and told her, so did you manage to put the pieces together? She nods. You're not lying. Deku shook his head. Nope. Then they tell her it can be right, because they never heard of people doing what Deku can do. Well, you're not wrong, she told them. The people that can use ki only use it for a punch or a kick. And they don't increase their strength a lot, maybe 2-3 times, but that's it. But when I was a kid, my dad did tell me stories about people that can break giant rocks with one punch and do all of these superhuman feats. But I thought they were only stories. Well, some stories have some truth behind it, they could tell her. And I am the proof of that. Quirk, weak quirk, no quirk. It doesn't matter. Don't let people decide how strong you can become. It's our life, our fate to make. Then Deku's phone started ringing. He looked at the screen, smiled and told them, I'll be right back. My fate is calling me. You can keep reading the notebook until I return. They nod, Deku pick up. It's Nijiri, by the way. He start talking to her and start walking away to have a bit more privacy. So they talk. She asked him how was his day and how is he? Did you train well? Are you still in one piece? Deku giggled and tell her, yeah, I'm fine. Tired, but still fine. Then Deku sighed. Nijiri asked him what's wrong. Then Deku tell her he told Momo about the technique and how he have a problem with it. I see, she replied. Try focusing. Focusing, he asked her. I'm already doing that. Maybe, but you're doing it wrong. Izuku, I know you for like 2 years right now. And I know that you are stressed a bit because of your dream. Am I right? Deku confirmed it. I told you before, didn't I? Don't stress about it. It's just a dream. Focus on what's important. What do you need? What do you want? Because I know you. Whenever you focus on something, you always find a way. You already have the answer. Just do what you do best. And I know it would work out because I believe in you. Deku smiled, giggled a bit and tell her, you always find the words to encourage me, don't you? Niji giggled and tell him, well, that's technically my job to support you as your girlfriend and future wife. I heard that, you know, Deku tell her. And Nijiri blushing at the end of the phone. Well, I'm glad to have you, future Miss Ruko. And when she heard that, Nijiri was happy, but also really embarrassed. Then she told him that she should let him get some rest. Deku giggled and tell her, yeah, I should. Well, have sweet dreams, future Miss Ruko. And he hangs up. So he starts walking back to the camp, smiling. And when Momo saw that, she tell him, something good happened? Deku tell her, well, maybe it will happen. Anyway, it's getting late, I'm tired. Yeah, you're right. Then they give Deku his notebook back and everyone fell asleep. So the next day, after warming up a bit, Deku fly away from everyone and like he did yesterday, he fired another big super dragon cannon at him and he punched it. Then he started remembering what Nijiri told him. Focus on something that you need, something that you want, something that I need, huh? And the first thing that popped up in his head, Nijiri, something that I want. Then he remembered what happened in Island. What I want is to never see you get hurt again. Then Deku looked at the big red ball and he imagined Wolfred, or the Numu, or every villain that he fought. He screamed at the top of his lungs and he fired a beam from his fist that went through the attack, completely negating it, and the beam continued flying up in the air. Deku was surprised that he actually did it. But there is a backlash. His hand is actually a bit burned. The same burn that he got on Island. So Deku quickly healed his hand and started thinking. Thanks Nijiri, you actually helped me a lot. And now since I know how I can use it, I just need to practice a bit more and increase my durability. I still have only 4 days left. I need to up my training even more. So he fly back to the group. They are surprised to see him this early. He just left. So they ask him, is something wrong? He shook his head. Then he grabbed a case and opened it. Then he take out the other 2 pairs of wristbands. And by the way, these ones are more heavier than the ones Deku is wearing. So Aizawa approach him, ask him what he's going to do. Increase the weight, Deku tell him. I need to up my training even more. I assume they are heavier than the one that you're wearing. Deku nod. So change them quick. Deku looked at him. Who said I'm going to change them? What? Aizawa replied, surprised. Then Deku proceeded to wear these wristbands on top of the old ones. Well, not exactly on top, but he's still wearing the old ones. Aizawa tell him, you're crazy kid, that's too much weight. Well, we will not know until I try. Then Deku pulled the triggers and he immediately started having problems standing. Kid, I think that's enough, Aizawa tell him. No, I can't do it. Then Deku start getting up and he start walking, but really slowly. Imagine him like Goku in 20 times gravity for the first time. Then Aizawa asked him, why are you putting yourself through this? Because I can't go all out anymore. Because I will cause too much damage to my surrounding. But here I can go all out without that fear. And then he looked at Aizawa dead in the eyes and tell him, you told me 1 week, I'm using it. And then Deku went on with his training. So after a while we switched to Momo and Kendo talking. Kendo is impressed that Deku is actually only using his ki to be this strong. So she tells her that she's impressed and a bit worried. Mo asks her why she's worried. Kendo replies, well, since he's using his life force, there is a limit how much he have. And if he uses all of it, he will die. Momo's eyes widen. Don't you think we should tell him? Don't bother, he already know. They look behind them and saw Aizawa talking. So Momo asks him, is he sure? He nod and tell her, ever since he saw Deku, he sensed that he's different. I sense that he's always prepared to die. And now I know why. I see, Momo replied. Let's just hope that he will never go that far. Yeah, both of them reply. Then we fast forward to the end of the day. Avon is eating, and by the corner of his eye, Deku saw that Koda is walking away. But he just shrugged it off. Then Mandari started calling for him. And when he didn't come, she asked if someone saw him. Deku nod, and he tell her that he saw him go in that direction. I see, I think he did go to his secret place. Secret place? Deku asked. Mandali nod. He always go there to cool off. Then Deku start thinking, it's almost like me when I go to the beach or something like that. It's getting pretty late. I hope he will come back soon before the food got cold. Do you want me to search for him? He asked her. She tell him, I don't want to bother you. Nonsense, Deku reply. You give me a place to stay and a place where I can go all out in my training. This is the least thing I can do. I see. Thank you. Don't mention it. So Deku grabbed a plate and started flying around. And after a couple of minutes, he found Koda. He fly down. Koda asked him, what do you want? Mandali is worried about you and here's your dinner. And like the anime, Koda tell him to leave him alone. He doesn't want to be near any wannabe hero. I get it, you're upset. Just hear your dinner and just don't be late. Deku put the plate on the ground and start walking away. Then he heard Koda telling him, why do you even bother training your quirk? Because I have something to protect, Deku replied. Koda looked at Deku. Deku turned around and tell him, look kid, I understand you. You hate this society because of what happened to your family. Everything was good until you know what. And you're kind of right, this society is broken. But then again, nothing is perfect. There is always will be fighting and bad people. Remember, he's talking to a kid that always try to cause harm for just no reason. But there is also people that try to protect others, try to help them go through life because they know life is hard as it is. People like your parents. And kid, I will not tell you to not be sad or angry. You have every right to be. But you have to understand, you don't need to go through this alone. There is people that want to help you. The Wild White Pussycat want to help you. But you need to let them. Koda start crying and tell Deku to shut it. He doesn't know how he feel. Oh well, trust me kid, I know how you feel. Because I was abandoned by my own family. And that shocked Koda. Then he looked at Deku. Yeah, you heard me right. I was abandoned because I'm quirkless, and because of that they abandoned me. Because in this society, if you don't have a quirk, there is not a lot of things that you can do. So just like you, I was alone, hurt, broken. So yeah, I know that feeling. And I know your anger. I know it pretty well. Then Deku started walking toward him. And I know it's hard to let people in. I was just like you. I was afraid that they will just hurt me more. But then I met them. They helped me heal. And I'm grateful for them. But they only helped me because I let them. So Koda, put your faith in Wild White Pussycat. They are good people. They will help you. And like Ryuko with Deku in part 3 or 4 I believe, Koda started tearing up a bit. Deku started thinking of what to do. Then he remembered what Ryuko did. So a bit hesitant, he approached him and hugged him. Koda was a bit surprised, but he hugged back and started crying. It's okay, kid. It's okay. And after a couple of minutes, he started coming down a bit. You good? He nods. Sorry if it's a bit awkward. I'm not used to this. No, it's okay, Koda replied. Thanks. Don't mention it. Anyway, I think you should eat before it gets cold. Koda nodded and he started eating. And after that, they walked back to the camp. When they arrived, Koda walked out to Mandalay and apologized for scaring her. Monday just put her hand on his head and told him it's okay. I'm glad that you are safe. And Deku is not too far, he's just looking at them, then he smiled. But unbeknownst to him, the other wild white pussycat are watching him, and they saw him smile. I guess I misjudged the kid, Tiger tell them. He's a good kid. Yeah, he is, Pixie Pop tell him. But man, it sucks that he's already taken. And after this, we fast forward to the end of the week. During this time, Deku keep training at his max. And at the last day of the camp, he's already get used to the weights. He can fight while still wearing them, although he can still feel the weight a bit. So it's last night of the camp. They decide to throw a party to celebrate the training. Deku was going to train, but Momo tell him, either you stay and relax, or I will call Nijire. That's a cheap shot and you know it, Deku tell her. It's your call. Fine. Then Kid approached Momo and asked her, is he afraid of Nijire or something? Momo shook her head. Nah, he doesn't want to make her sad or worried. He's a bit protective of her. He's a good friend, Kendo replied. Well, they are not friends. She's his girlfriend, that's why. Kendo was dumbfounded. Really? Momo nod. Wait, so when last time he told us that his destiny is calling? Yep, that's Nijire, Momo replied. So the party went on, then Deku started smelling something. So he asked the wild pussycat, do you smell this? So they smell and tell him, gas? That's no gas, Deku shout. Then Pixie Bob started floating and headed to the trees. Deku knew what's going on. He fired Keyblast toward the trees, and that made Pixie Bob start flying. What's going on? They asked him themselves. Then Deku shout, there's villains! Everybody watch out! Everybody get worried. Then Spinner, Magna, Dabi, and Inumu come out of the woods. He's good like he told us. We should take care of him first. That's your job. He looked behind him and Muscular make himself known. He's still wearing his mask, by the way. Good. I finally can let loose a bit. Yo, kid, your name is Izuku, right? Deku did not reply. Silenced one, aren't you, huh? Very well. I don't care if you talk or not. Just show me your blood. They remove his cape and charge at Deku. Deku immediately powered his blue form with his pupil changing and throws a punch. Both attack collided and they sent a small shockwave. And Deku won the power struggle. He was able to push Muscular away. Muscular started laughing maniacally and tell him, you're good, kid, you're good. Fight me more. Then Muscular powered up even more, revealing his face. And he charged at Deku. Deku blocked it, but this time he's the one who got pushed back. He's strong, Deku commented. In the meantime, the other heroes are fighting the villains. With the help of Todoroki or anyone that can fight, Aizawa did give them the permission to fight back. So let's go back to Deku. He started thinking, I need to finish this fight quickly. I'm still exhausted from my training. Then he heard Koda start crying. It's you. Deku and Muscular looked at him. Then Koda tell him, you're the one who killed them, my parents. Deku's eyes widen. I see, so you are their kid, huh? Not in personal, but I want to fight and they try to stop me, so I killed them. They were weak. What a stupid excuse for heroes. Everyone got pissed, especially Deku. He whispered, shut it. What did you say, kid? Muscular tell him. I said shut your mouth. Deku screamed at the top of his lungs and he powered up. His eyes changed once again. They went or they become cyan. Everyone started thinking that form again, but it seems a bit more powerful. Then something is happening that shocked them. Deku continued yelling and he powered up even further. This time his hair started changing. It went from dark green to cyan. The ground around them started shaking and breaking apart. And he started sending powerful shockwave across the field. I won't let you make fun of good and honest heroes. Strength doesn't make a hero. Heroes protect everyone, no matter if they're weak or strong. Then, when I hear people like you making fun of them, it makes my blood boil. Then Deku clenched his face and he started getting more power in it. You may be able to escape other heroes, but not anymore because I am here and I will stop you. Show me what you got, kid. Then Muscular charged at him. Then Deku pulled his right hand back and that part of his shirt got torn to shreds because of the amount of power he's gathering. Muscular, this is from the behalf of Mandalay and Koda. So Muscular go in his full muscular form and Deku throw his punch. And right before it collide, he yelled, Dragon Fist! And that sent a massive shockwave, and everyone saw that the Deku's energy, the second it collided with Muscular, it make him fly up in the sky. Then it surround him, and it formed like a dragon shape, and when it's up in the air, it explode. And even though it's high up, they still felt the shockwave. Everyone jaw dropped to the ground. What kind of power is that? Then everyone looked at Deku and they saw that his right hand is pretty burned. Luckily, he's still able to move it. Then suddenly he got on one knee, he powered down and started breathing heavily. Then Deku started thinking, damn it, I was already low in energy. Now I barely have anything left. Then he sensed something behind him. He did, and he saw that Mr. Compress is behind Tokoyami and Bakugo. Deku yelled, watch out, behind you! Both of them turned around to see him, and Deku used his last bit of energy to charge at him. He was able to stop him from grabbing Tokoyami, but he was too late for Bakugo. Mr. Compress touched him, then he started jumping away. He did capture him. Deku tried to go after him, but he immediately fell to his knees. Damn it, move! Deku starts shouting to his body to move, but it can't. He doesn't know it's because he doesn't want to save Bakugo or because he doesn't have any energy left. Well, he still has some to stay alive, but not enough to move. So with that, the villain started leaving, but Dabi stayed in his place. And after Aizawa captured him, he turned into mud. Then they hear a loud crash. It's Muscular. He's knocked out, pretty damaged, he have burn marks all over his body, and he's still alive. The heroes try to go after the villains, but the second they come close, a dark purple portal opened up and took them away. And they took with them Bakugo. And I'm going to stop it right here. So what do you think of it, guys? Why did they capture Bakugo? Why not Deku? What will happen next? Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and if you want part 21, 500 likes and I will do it. Plus it does help my channel grow. And if you're new, subscribe, there is more videos like this coming, and like always guys, peace.